This conference will now be recorded.
Right. See, when we use the log rotate generally, when log files become huge and it is taking really a lot of space, just try to recycle it. So if I connect to the Mongo and at the same time I'll open the parallel session. We discussed this yesterday, but anyway, Mongo user. If we go to the log location, this is where we have the log file. Now you wanted to recycle this. It has 18 KB of data, and let's see how many rows we have in it. So we have 129 rows at the moment within that. But these are historical, and I already archived this thing. I wanted to flush it out. So we know, right? How do we just delete it? So just take the name, okay? Just take the name like that, and then keep it asterisk at the end. So just forcibly we are removing all the files whichever is starting with this name. If I hit it, all the files will be gone. See, only one file left. So now we were able to clear out the space from the log file. Log, which kind of scenario log file goes to huge? See, log file is something what it is event. Every event will write to Mongo log file, MongoD log file. So people don't consider MongoDB, it's not so sophisticated within the product. You can schedule it kind of. You have to schedule it from the OS side. The scheduling will come later on. We're going to see automation, automating the backups and things we will see in the future session. In the backup restore, I'm going to talk about cron jobs. We can run the OS level automation, but within the product, we don't have anything to automate. So first we will understand the automation part is different. We will see that whenever means over a time, definitely Mongo log file will become large over a time. Why? Because it is keep writing all the events, who is connected, who is something is erroring out, what is that error, and if you create a collection, it will keep the entry. If you delete a collection, it will keep the entry. So it is writing a lot of events, whatever you do at server level, basically. Even you create a database, you drop a database, everything will be loaded into the log file. It is just information, but over a time that becomes a huge, then it occupies a lot of space, then that's where the maintenance will come into picture, basically. So so what should I do? Basically use admin run command, or else if you are under any database, db.admin command. These are the two things you have to use it. So what should I do to recycle that log file? Log rotate. You have to use this small command. Okay, log rotate, enter. That's it. It'll recycle the file at OS level. Once it is recycled and then the current new log file is introduced, the old one will be given like this, and then flush it out. See why we are recycling it actually. We are recycling to claim the space from that file. Like file took a lot of space unnecessarily. We are just recycling it and deleting that file so that the space will be released and the alert will be cleared. I have done this many times in the live servers anyway. So whenever you see that MongoDB log file is full, full means too much. It is not a collection to say that it is full. It will keep grow as the events are keep coming into the file basically. There is no limitation on this one. It's an OS file. It's not a collection basically. So if that is the case, just recycle and remove it so that the alert will be cleared. How you can automate this, we will see in the future sessions, not now. But conceptually, this is what it is. How do you recycle the log file? This is a command to recycle the log file in Mongo. Is it clear?
So recycling is like creating a new log file,
Yeah, of
archiving
course, of course.
archiving the previous one and creating a new one.
That's it. It's like SQL Server error logs. We use to SPN square, cycle underscore error log. We just run small command. What it does, it will pick up the current data into archive log file and it will introduce a new file. Same thing here. It is absolutely same thing. It's like SQL log only, server log. So by default, MongoDB uses the system.log rotate or log rotate behavior with the rename MongoDB or Mongo's rename the current log file by appending UTC timestamp. It is just adding something UTC timestamp. When you have done this operation to the file name, opens a new file, closes the old log file and sends all new entries to the new log file basically. Once it is recycled, once it is archived all of its data to this one, new file got generated. Whatever the events are written, the events will go to the new log file, to this one basically. Okay, to rotate, what you have to do, use admin db.run admin run command. If you are into different database, db.admin command. The log rotate anyway is a common thing. If we are not using admin database, then we have to run the admin. Good enough, I mentioned that also. Okay, and log rotate, with the log rotate reopen closes the opening. There is one more option we have, log append rotate. Log append, this is something, we will talk about this as well. This is not something we don't use it in the live basically. Log rotate only we use it. Rotate means log reopen. Log append means you'll try to keep all of the data to same file again and again and again, even you run the command. We don't use this anyway, no need to worry. We only use this thing, log rotate db.run command if you are into admin database, db.admin command if you are into different database. The intention is to recycle the error log of Mongo. That's it. There is nothing much I can talk here. You just have to recycle the Mongo log if it is filling the lot of space, if it is occupied the lot of space. Is it clear? Simple anyway, that simple thing. You don't do this every day. Once in a while, if you see the disk alert and you go and check the Mongo log in the same directory, do you have the Mongo log file? Then go and reclaim the space from the Mongo log file. It is like that. Any questions from anyone? Let me know if having something in your mind. It just any product you have a logs. The logs means events of the server. And if you don't recycle it over a time, that log will become big. If it becomes big again, it is going to take the space. It is going to take the load also on the system to write the events to that big file. So both should not happen. So you have to recycle and then flush it out to claim the space as well as the system performance also. Performance, it's not so noticeable, but anyway, few milliseconds also improving something good on the system. Same thing we do in any product, recycling the server logs. We do in every product basically. If you don't do it, it will become big. Anybody have question? Say something please. Yes or no? No questions.
So Ravi, like we don't have a two options, right? We can't define the file size and the timing.
No. It is not a something Mongo file, right? We can keep some size and manage it kind of. It is always file. It, as events are keep coming, it definitely grows into the level to accommodate all the incoming log. It is not something you can restrict. Just keep on adding the new logs as it is sending by the Mongo. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right. Let's come to the performance, guys. How we can raise the load, how we can do the tuning, how we can identify which queries are running for longer. This is very important discussion. Pay close attention on this. Okay. It is simple to understand, but you have to be absolutely sure on this one. Locking and connections. MongoDB uses locking system to ensure the data set consistency. If I am example, uh, MongoDB or any product, you will use a locking mechanism to make sure that data is consistent. So basically, it uses a kind of document level locking. In a White Tiger, we discussed already. Again, I quickly talk about this. We discussed this point already. MongoDB, what does it do? The portion what you're trying to update, the portion what you're trying to read, the portion what you're trying to delete anything, what does it do? It will lock that segment. Segment means the portion. You need to understand this, guys. Assume case you have lots of document. Each box is a document. you're trying to like come on. So you're trying to update only this segment, which means that these three documents are locked for the update. Till the update is finished, you other people will wait for this to be released, that action to be finished. Then only other connection can come and occupy the lock and do its own action. That way you maintain the consistency one at a time when it is modifying. Okay, one at a time when it is modifying, so that the data will not go into inconsistent status. So locking will help us in any product. The locking will help to keep the data at consistent state, so that only one session or one transaction can do the change on one portion of the segment of the collection. So locking ensures the data consistency all the time in any product. If certain operations are long running or queue forms, performance will degrade as as request and operations wait for the lock. See, whenever there is a lock for longer time, for read also, if you're reading it, when you're reading it, this portion cannot be modified because it is a shared lock. Update lock cannot be done. Other people can read it, but other people cannot update this portion. If that is the case, read, especially read, is not good. People do read a lot of segment, and they had to, when they do it, they had to do it very efficiently. They need to introduce the proper indexes, and they had to filter the data what they wanted to read. They had to do the lot of like their work. If they are just reading any random data without any proper indexes, definitely it will go through the collection scan. If it is going through the collection scan, it will log the entire collection for some reason till it is loaded into the memory. Once it is loaded, it will go into the segment, but it has to load the data. So such kind of operations are definitely bad, and it will create the impact on the system. So we need to trace such kind of queries. Which queries are running longer? Are they really following the standards or not? We're going to see that today. Follow it closely. Lock related slowdown can be intermittent. Yes, obviously, sometimes lock will be there, and lock, once it is released, things will get, one session is taking the lock for longer time, that session is finished, then other sessions will go in faster in the queue and come out. Why? Because the session which was actually doing a lot of job, it is finished, the other things will quickly finish. So it is intermittent, sometimes quicker, sometimes slower, because sometimes that bad queries keep coming. To see if the lock has been affecting your performance, refer to the lock section of global lock. We discussed already this, guys. If you guys remember, I said like what are the blockings we do have, all that. I discussed this. I have given the note also, if you guys remember. Right. If you see these many readers are blocked, these many writers are blocked, and these many readers are actually reading it, these many writers are actually writing it, all that. Okay, that way it is. Right. In some cases, the number of connections between the application and databases can overwhelm the ability of the servers to handle the request. The following field server status. See, if you really see that MongoDB is getting too many connections, if you see, I have only two current statements. It can accept up to 817. Anyway, depends on your system capability. Like one CPU I have it, so that is why it is quite less anyway, maximum. You go with the higher size, higher configuration, it will open the more available count anyway. So if it is overwhelming, it is about to reach out the maximum connection count. There also people see the issues like other people will face it. No, there is no worker thread to pick up to get the data out of the Mongo. Like you reached that level already. So if it is really reaching out, you see the errors also there, basically. Why? Because the maximum connection count is exceeded already. So active clients, see global log.active clients contains the counter of the total number of clients with the active operations in progress or queued. So let's look at this global log.active clients. Active clients means this thing. Active clients, this is the readers, and this one is going to tell us how many are actually doing the operations on the system at the moment. Connections are the containers of the following two fields. Connections.current, total number of current. Current means this current, how many people are currently active, and currently active means connected, but actively they connected only one connection at the moment. This is important. Active connections, current and available connections, total. These two you need to look at. Only this is talking about this output. This you need to know before we enter into the actual troubleshooting. Let's enter into the profiling. Actually, profiling is given for the community edition, not for the enterprise. Enterprise has a lot of good tools to do the lot of automation. See, MongoDB community edition, enterprise edition, there are some features are not there in the community edition. One is performance monitoring. You cannot do performance monitoring using the tools for the community edition. You cannot do the backup automation using the tool for the community edition. You cannot do the encryption basically. So there are certain major features they have not given in the community edition. Why? See, if everything they are given in the community edition, who will buy the enterprise edition? If nobody is buying the enterprise edition, how the MongoDB will get the money from the market? They have to keep some gaps between the free and licensed. So we have 100 plus community edition production servers, 100 plus production community servers. Okay, enterprise has roughly we have like a 10 or 12 production servers under enterprise version because they're holding the very critical data on the Mongo. That's why they licensed it, and that we will get the support from the MongoDB. So if any issue we will face it, we'll go to the Mongo, which if it goes beyond our knowledge, we'll go to the MongoDB. They'll give us the support anyway, free of cost, because we are paying the licensing cost already. Anyway, there will be support charges also, but minimal basically if you have enterprise version. See guys, this is something you definitely have to know to trace the load on the community edition. Community edition, there is no tool which can support to trace the load, what's going on the Mongo. You have to do yourself. That is the reason it is very, very important to learn. Profiling. Let's talk about this profiling. MongoDB Profiler is a database profiling system that can help identify inefficient queries and operations. Okay. Default value is slow. Slow arms, we'll call it as slow. Slow operations, we'll call it as slow arms. Slow arms in Mongo. So by default, if a query runs 100 milliseconds, it will keep record. But based on the configuration you do, this will apply. The next configurations are here. Let me go to database first. See, profiling is at database level. In Mongo, there is no server level profiling is not there. It is a purely database level profiling. If someone is saying that performance is slow, definitely you have to ask and database and collection. Database level, okay, but one connection can go to one collection only in the database. There is no joining concept. There is no something, like merging some multiple collections and get the data. So everyone's question, everyone's session definitely specific to one database, one collection by default in Mongo. So you need to ask them where you are hitting, where you are facing the performance issue. Can I know the database name and collection name? Both you have to ask. That's how we do the performance like degradation testing, picking up all the queries which are taking longer time, all that. Just try to follow. DB is SQL test. Use SQL DB. It is very simple, no need to worry, but very important at the same time. These many collections I have in the system right now. So now, if I see DB dot profiling level, there are 0, 1, 2, 3 levels we have in the profiling. I'll tell you what each means, okay? Profiling level. It's not coming, just a minute. That's correct only. Git profiling, okay. Sorry. Git profiling level is 0. 0 means profiling is not enabled. Profiling is not enabled. There is something called db.get profiling status. This is something we'll tell you. What is profiling level right now? 0, 1, 2, it will be written here. If it is 0, profiling is disabled. If it is 2, it will trace everything that is coming into the system. Every single in and out, everything will be traced. So now I wanted to enable the profiling on the SQLDB database. You are enabling the profiling on the particular database. It's not at server level, okay? Because we are tracing on that one because people are complaining performance on that database. So now db dot set profiling level, set profiling level. I'll go with 2 basically. See, if it is 1 means only the queries which runs more than 100 milliseconds, then only it will raise the query. We need that kind of one thing only, but here I cannot run a query for 100 milliseconds to show you that. So if I keep it to everything, you connected, you ran some command, you ran some query, everything it will trace irrespective of the execution time. It does not matter. It just capture the whatever you do on the Mongo into the profiling collection. Before I do this, one thing I want to talk about, it will create one extra collection by default. By default, it will create its own collection to trace the data into it. It won't table kind of thing. It is a collection. The profiling will create its own collection to load the data into it. So you don't see one system.profile collection here. Once I enable that one, set profiling level, I'm keeping it 2. I wanted to make it 2. It is done. Okay. Now, if you see db.profiling status, get profiling status, this will tell us what is the profiling is configured to right now. 2 means, see, again, there will be one collection it will create, one collection it will create. It is simple, guys. You get, when you start doing it, it'll look very simple. System.profile, this is created by this command. When I given set profiling to, I have enabled the profiling. And this is something it is created by default, system.profile. And this is by default a capped collection. It will maintain roughly, let's see, db.system.profile stats. If you see, stats means collection statistics we are seeing. If you see, it is capped true, capped true. What is the maximum size this one? What is the maximum? 1 MB only. It is holding the 1 MB worth of data. If you wanted more of that size, you can do it. How do you do it? I'll talk about that. But now we are going with the default size to see it. We can increase, we'll increase actually in the real time. That 1 MB is not sufficient to trace complete load. So we will definitely increase that one. How do we increase that value? We will see separately. For now, if I go and see that db dot, let me clear this, show collections, just pay close attention because you have to understand this. System.profile, if you go and see, every command you write, it will trace it. Every command. So db sql db.system.profile, I have read that one. So let me read into pretty db dot system. It is traced to one statement, find pretty to see the output in a proper format. This is how it is. So I read data query. See, this is a query filter. I did not keep any filter, just I read everything from that. So it is kind of going through the collection scan. Why? Because I'm just see when I'm reading this system.profile.find, everything I'm reading it. When I'm reading everything, it does not have index. Anyway, it is a collection data. You don't need the index on this one. We need the index on the collections where we are going to deal with. So I read twice this, the same thing. I read twice basically. Okay. Here it went as like a query. How long it is executed? Docs exam into one, only one you have it. Returned also one, good enough. But how long it is executed? This is important for us. Millis. It is executed for 2 milliseconds. Okay, and it is use a collection scan. See, this is what we need to know. When it is tracing the query, it is going to trace the query. It is going to tell you that is it really followed collection scan or index scan, and how many documents examined. Okay, total examined document, total returned documents, and how long it is executed. These 3 factors we need to look at. Based on that, we will tune the query. Is it really bad or good? Based on those factors only, we'll decide. Let me generate some load, then you understand all of this anyway. And which one we have the data more? I'll take something where we don't have indexes at all. Products, what do we have in products? db dot. Everything I'm reading is going to trace into the profiler anyway. Okay, this is enough. db dot get indexes. I'm just checking, guys. Item and availability count. These two have the indexes. First, I'll remove the index, then we'll play with it. Okay, so that you understand well. db dot products dot drop. If you see this, everything is intentionally I'm going to do. Come on, what happened? Drop index, sorry. Right, let me clear this. db dot products. Okay, db dot products dot find and find. If I see this, this is the data I have it. Now, if I go with the item, just item, it does not have any index right now. I'm just going with it. Mobile, something. It's case sensitive. So if I do this, what does it do? Will it use index scan or collection scan? We discussed all of this. From
Collection,
anyone?
collection scan.
Right, collection scan. That's correct. What it is saying? Function verbose. Oh, sorry. Use this as this collection scan. But at the same time, the profiler. Let's see the profiler now. CLS show collections. If you see, this is what is a profiler. db dot system dot okay. Find anyway. We need to go with the find and print it to see the output in a proper format. Right. So what is the last statement? What we have done? It is something skldb.product. Explain is a command anyway. Before that we read it. Right. This is one. This is the like a database name. This is the collection name. This is a command you write. Right. Command filter products. Like find products, but there is no filter in it. There is no filter in it. And when you are trying to read it, it examined total 11 documents given all the document, and it went through the collection scan to find out all that. Okay, and how long it is executed? 0 milliseconds. Actually, it is very whatever it say, very small document, that very small collection, that way it read within milliseconds. 0 milliseconds. See, 1 second equal to 1000 milliseconds. Even 1 second of 1000 milliseconds also, it is 0 at the moment. Such fast it is read out. Anyway, so what you need to focus when it comes to the tracing, you need to focus on what you're trying to read and what columns you're trying to, it is giving the details what columns you're trying to read, right? So let's come back to little up products. Did I use the filters? Command list indexes. Right, actually it should have displayed. I run one command with the filter, right? Item. Where is this? Should not be explained. Let me go with the read. I'm reading it. I'm not looking at it. If I'm reading this query will get loaded into the profiler. So now let's see that. So now if I go to the end, see guys, this is what you need to be very careful to understand. This query got traced into the our system.profiler trace. What it is saying, you're trying to read this database, this collection, and what command I have used, find the product, and within the find I given the filter mobile. Good enough. But how many document it is examined? 11 document. But how many documents it is returned? 2 documents. Absolutely bad. This is definitely bad. Is it really, you have like what it went through? Is it index scan as collection scan? Collection scan. Absolutely bad. Okay, how long it is executed? 0 milliseconds. As data is less, that is why it is 0 millisecond. If it is a billion rows, it is going to examine everything. 11 means 11, it is examined all the documents. But if you have a billion rows, it'll just read all the billion rows into memory and give you only 2 records, which is very dangerous. It is going to kill the overall system as well, because you are reading such a big collection and getting only 2 records. That's where Mongo will get hurt very badly. Indexing is so important. Sorry, Mongo will support very huge data set, and you're reading some data from the very huge data set, and you're reading all the huge data set and getting few records. So see how badly you're hitting the system. So people don't know, some developers, they only know what they wanted to see in the output, but they don't know in the background what's happening. That's where the performance issues are common in the Mongo. We need to rectify as a DBA. How do we rectify this? So the same thing, let this performance as it is. DB dot, what was that? Products, right? Find. This is the data. Now I'm going to, this is also recorded in the profiler. Everything you do, it will record. I'm going to go db dot products. Every command, whatever you write, it will, because I kept profiling level to 2. 2 means global. It just get all the data at the collection level. All the sessions data on the database, particular database. It can be, like 100 millisecond or 0 millisecond. It will trace. Profiling level 1 will only trace slow running queries. That is what we do in the real time. But I wanted to show something, like the data is getting generated. So that's why I went with the 2. Anyway, create index. I'm going to create index on the column item. Okay, I'm creating index. If index is created, the same thing as absolutely same thing. There is nothing much, but this is only tracing the queries. That's it. So now if I create the index on the item, if I'm reading that, how it is tracing, it is, see, we don't need to go through the execution plan. It is tracing the query. It is keeping the execution plan also in the trace file. That is a big advantage for us, very big advantage. So that's where we need to focus. Find item. I'm keeping some camera, what we have with, anyway, mobile, I'll keep it. Anything, you just read it. Right, we are getting 2 records like that. Okay, now go and read this trace file. Right, now if we read this, see, try to follow this, where it started. This is a query, and we went with the filter mobile. Query is a query, SQL DBA product, and you are reading this. It is going to load complete. It is going to load complete query. It is a update, insert, whatever you do it, it will write the complete in information here. So you are trying to read this product one, and it a filter item mobile. So if you are trying to read with a filter, whatever you're trying to filter is a condition. That condition fields must have the index. That is a minimum. The condition item mobile item should have the index. So now if you see docs examine 2, and it is read only 2, which is a great thing. Which is a great thing because it is only read the limited data, what it is read, what it is given out. That's something good. And what it went through, index scan, which is very, very good. And how long it is executed? 2 milliseconds total overall, 2 milliseconds. Okay, it is a first time execution. For generating the execution plan using index, it takes time. If I read the second time, it will go to the 0 milliseconds to execute. First time to generate the execution plan, it takes a little longer. If I read everything, if I read the same query again, it will not go 2 milliseconds, it will go to 0 only. So like this, we will trace, like you will find the user information, who is running. Right now, security is not enabled. You will find the user who is running this statement. Okay, who is running this particular statement, which is causing this load in the system. What we need to look at it when someone complains, you enable the profile, you see the load. What are the things we need to focus is this thing. What is filtering on what is filtering? This is very important thing. And how many docs are it examined? This is very important. And how many are returned? These two should be matched. Then only you are the efficient query you are doing it on the indexing part. Docs examined, returned should be same all the time. If those are same, you're doing good. If not, you're definitely fighting the system, obviously. And how long this is executing? The time, even it is ongoing also, it will write the information here. That is something good. Something ongoing, it will trace the execution plan into the profiler already. And that ongoing is still going on, but it will every time you read this millis will grow up. So we can easily find the culprit basically. So now if you go to here, it'll trace lot of data. It's not only one collection, it'll trace all the collections data. So it becomes very big in the real world. How do we actually look at what you wanted to look at? Let's look at the direction. Show collections. Let me try to read other things also. DB dot, intentionally I'm doing it. Okay, fine. This is the data and DB dot items. This is the data. If I go and read, okay, I'll read some more to generate the data. It's simple, very simple. I don't say it at all. It is tough kind of, but anyway, you just need to know. So if I go to this thing again, it is tracing a lot of things. If you see this is lab 10 query, this if you see lab items, and if you see come on, this is SQLDB student, but where you want to trace the load actually products. That is where someone is trying to read. That is where he is getting the too much of delay. See guys, whenever you are trying to do the performance tuning, you need to ask two things. What is the database name? What is a collection? It's mandatory. Without that, we cannot tune it. Why? Because you have lots of collection in the database, lots of data is getting loaded. So every query definitely will go into one database, one specific collection. There is no joining. So one session definitely have to limit it to one collection at the end. Database collection. So you need to inquire about that what collection they are hitting and where they are getting slow performance. That's how, see, it is recording lot of collections information, but how do I have to go to every entry manually? It is impossible. So we need to know what they are trying to read and where they are getting the slowness. Then we will trace out. How do we trace out? Let's do that. So our focus is SQLDB products, right? So now this is SQLDB lab, this is SQLDB, where it is, SQLDB items, and where it is, this one, student something. So now I wanted to filter it out with the namespace. You have an NS, okay? When I'm reading this, I can filter this further to specific collection load NS SQLDB dot products. So when it is capturing all the collections queries, but we are specifically interested in SQLDB products because that's where people are seeing the performance issue. If you go with this, it is loading only the commands which ran against the SQLDB product collection, no other. Why? Because we kept the filter. Whatever you see, this complete output. Whatever you see, this complete output. This is a query SQLDB product and we are reading it. Everywhere you see the SQLDB products only. So this is where the performance issue is raised by the people. SQLDB.product. Again, SQLDB.product. Everything you see in the output is SQLDB.product. So this way you are filtering it out. You are filtering it out. No, I don't want this. Still, I wanted further, what I will say. I still wanted to further filter it out. Millis. What the queries which are running on this one and queries which are greater than some millis you wanted to give it. So millis greater than, come on, sorry, greater than 1 millisecond. Query which is running more than 1 millisecond, I need the output. So now, if you go and see, this is how we actually find it out. This is how you do the performance tuning. Randomly, it won't happen. So now, if you see, this is what the output. If you go and see the millis, this 5 milliseconds it is executed. If you go and see this 3 milliseconds executed, and if you see this 2 milliseconds executed. So that's how. If I go with, I don't want the queries which ran less than 2 milliseconds, greater than 2 milliseconds I wanted. So how many are actually ran for more than 2 milliseconds? Only these two, 5 milliseconds, and this one is 3 milliseconds. So we are only interested in the long running queries. Basically, we will go with the minutes in the real time. But here I'm just showing you in millis. Why? Because we cannot run the query with the small data for minutes. So only the milliseconds only it is executing and finishing. That is why we are going with the lesser execution time. In the real time, we'll see minutes. Within the minute, we don't care. Okay, if it is taking 1 minute execution, we don't care. If it is really longer than that, yes, we have to definitely care. See, you are reading 10 records out of 1 billion. It is running for 1 hour. It is insane. 2 records to 1 hour is not good. If you create the index, it will get in the next second, next millisecond. Though it is a billion records it has, if you have an index, it get the record within millisecond, irrespective of the size of the collection, because it's reading the address of the data directly. It's not scanning the collection. You guys are following? Going above head or following? See something.
Following.
Yeah.
So this is called tracing in Mongo. So is it recorded trace file? Yeah, of course we enable. See, when I set the I have done this thing when I did it, like set profiling level to 2. When I set profiling level to 2, it is created one collection. I said in the beginning itself, this got created automatically. Whatever you do on this particular database will load into this collection, and we are reading from that collection. What we are doing now. Is it clear, Guru? Is it recorded, Trace? Yes, it is recorded, of course. It is recorded. And this is so important for every MongoDB because this is a usual issue. See, in Mongo, you don't get too much of work. You don't need to worry. Issues wise, there are not too many issues. Only performance issues comes. People don't follow the indexing. This is a big deal with them. All the time they read unnecessary data and they say that my query is slow, and they don't use indexes basically. So you need to look at this filter position especially. Why? What columns they are filtering it? Is it really went through the collection scan, index scan? How long it is executed? How many documents it examined? How many it is written? These are the things you need to look at and give the best, the suggestions to them to improve that query. So if you are improving the query, then compliance also will be out of it. So that's how you trace the load. Any questions on this? That's all. If you wanted to ask something, ask me. I'll go in that direction.
I don't have a control in like if I need to create. So first of all, the profiler we are creating in the database level. So if I want to create for any particular collection, there is no control, right? So
No. That is not available. It is complete database level. That's why you definitely have to ask what is the database now, what is the collection you are trying to hit. See, if they are seeing the collection slow in the session is slow, every session is limited to one database, one collection only. You cannot join the collections in the Mongo. There is no join concept. Ultimately, they have to land into one collection. So we need to inquire that. When you enable the profiling, it is tracing lot of other information also, other collections information also. But how do you troubleshoot on that particular one? You have to give the database name and collection name and go with the millis greater than what you are looking for. So we will go actually 1000 milliseconds or greater than 1000 milliseconds or 2000 milliseconds like that in the real world. Here I'm just going with the 2 milliseconds and 3 milliseconds because we don't have that big queries to show it. Everybody clear? It's such an important class actually. This is has great value. If you do this, you are the advanced MongoDB DBA. If you do this, you know how indexing works. You know how to trace the long running queries. You know how to tune it. All you know now. Is it clear to everyone? Say something, guys. I don't want to, like go ahead without your understanding. So if it
And one
is it
more thing,
clear? Go
like
ahead.
it creates the load, right? Like usually in the SQL, if we run the profiler, it will create the load actually. Like
It
so,
will create the load, obviously, but you don't run this forever. Once the issue is resolved, you find out the issue, and then what I'll do, I'll go and set the profiling level to 0. Then it is switch off the load. It will switch off the tracing automatically. db
yeah,
dot set profiling level. That's it. I'll go and I'll keep it to 0. Then it does not trace anything.
yeah, got it. Yeah.
It is only for time being. It's not forever. You have to do. See, if someone is saying that, then we will ask them it is badly impacting, they will need the resolution right away. Then we will enable the profile in the bridge. When the bridge is going on, we enable the profile, and on that database we'll capture it on the fly. We'll give the solutions on the fly. This is what you are you guys trying to do. It's not good. Just tune this way, you will give all suggestions. It comes with little experience anyway, quickly to react and interact to this, because you have to practice a lot to. If bridge is opened, Mongo is dead slow, people are actually seeing quite long time to get out the data, then immediately what database, what collection, immediately ask them, go to database, enable the set profiling level to 1 basically. And slow arms, if a query is running for more than, we'll ask them what kind of queries, how long you want it to trace. Generally 1 or 2 minutes, more than 1 minute we will trace. So whatever the queries are running for more than 1 minute, we'll trace it out and we'll show them these are the queries you are doing it, and these are not following the standards, and this is just going to the collection scan, it is reading all of these records, it is not at all good. I have closed this kind of fish many times. It's usual in Mongo. It's usual, finding the trace and giving the solutions to rectify the slowness. It is a usual in Mongo especially, but it's simple, it's not tough, I would say. But it comes with a little experience. No need to worry. Little experience you need to have. Quickly do it on the fly and then give the suggestions. See, it is going to pick up everything what you run in the system, every single thing, like your like it can be one collection. No, it all the collections of the database, and you're reading it, you're inserting it, you're updating it, everything will be traced, not only just a query that only your reading operation. We only focus on the read operations. Indexes are only for the read, not for the write. Like insert, update, delete, we don't create the indexes for that. Indexes are only required for the read. Keep in mind, if one update query is running for more than 2 minutes, don't do that. Why they are doing that huge batch, that we will inquire. Why you are updating this big chunk of data? Don't do it. It is locking a lot of collection, lot of documents. They are longer lock is placed on that. Divide into chunks. Chunks means they have to like a 1 lakh record they have to update. Divide into 1000, 10,000, 10,000, 10 batches, so that the MongoDB lock is a batch level, not the entire collection level. So if you have to update 1 lakh records, go with the batches, maybe 25,000 at a time. So 4 batches, 4 different segment locks will be there. So like that, we will recommend to the people not to go with the higher level locks. Too much of data, don't lock it. That will create the obviously waiting period to be become more. Those system resources are available to process the data, but the session is under blocked because one big statement is doing the job. But that also you need to highlight it here. It will see, let me show this, why to see it. So db dot products, first I'll read it and then I'll show this. It will trace every single thing that you do. So you had to it is something like it is, what I'm saying is advanced, very advanced DBA operation. It is not junior DB action, it is a senior DB action. Anyway, you will become a senior one day. Hmm. item item I'll keep it mobile. mobile set. I'm going to set this to something. Set what I wanted to set. Availability quantity 400 to 600, something AQI 600. Come on, where I went wrong? Mobile must be codes. There should be codes. Yeah. So, right, it got modified. If it is modified, if I go and read that for filing without this filters, anyway, I'll give the filters but not millis. I don't want this millis. Right. If I go on only reading that one, it'll write the update also. See, it is update statement. It will end with the index scan anyway, which is we don't need that. For update statement, you don't look for the index anyway. It is operation is update. Operation is update. Okay, and I'll go with a lot of filters. I'll show that. See, this is an update, and if you insert, it will also go with the insert. Let's do everything, and then I'll give you the best reading of the data what you wanted. Let's do it all the crap. db.product insert. What item I can? What is the any electronic device name? We inserted all that, right? Anything? Earphone. Example. Just I'm keeping it. AQI 500. While true something I'm keeping like this. This is inserted. Now go and read this. So it is going to trace the insert operation as well. Okay. But am I interested into insert and update? Sometimes you don't. Basically, insert no way concerned, but update is concerned. Sometimes we need to include the update. Okay. So now wherever I just wanted, basically the first priority is query. Query you need to trace. Query you need to trace. What it is operation equal to query. So now I don't want to inquire about the update. I don't want to inquire about the insert. When I'm reading, I'm getting all of this. I don't want all of that. So I wanted the query on the SQLDB own product, and millis. I'm mentioning the millis. Millis greater than sorry guys, greater than 2 millis, and at the same time I wanted what I wanted. Operation op equal to query, not other things. Now it is limited to only queries. It is giving the only query. I don't have to search all the other things. So only query is our target all the time. First query. Query means read. Query means read. Insert, update, deletes, we don't care much. Only the queries you have to care much. So you are very specifically finding it what you wanted. That is what actually we need to locate. What is a performance killer is that is a performance killer here. You are generating the load on the database on this collection, and you are reading what exactly how long query is running, more than 1 minute, whatever the queries are running, it will display everything on that one. And what you wanted to read only query, you have the insert, update, deletes, and everything is going on that collection, not only read. So you are interested to only inquire about the read, you got correct data on that one. Correct data greater than 2. There are, if I take out this millis 2, you get the more output. Why? Because some queries would have been finished within 0 millisecond. If you see more output, why? Because more queries are ran, but they're executed within 0 milli. So if you see this one, here millis is 5, only one, and if you see the millis is 0, if you see the, come on, millis is, where it is, millis is gone, 0. There are many query operations done, but all the queries finished within 0 milliseconds. We don't worry about the small queries which are executed in 0 milliseconds. We only interested in the queries which are running for longer. Finding the solution, what trying to understand what I'm trying to say here. If you know this, you know how to instantly find what's bad thing is going on in the Mongo. As simple as it is. Instantly, you can tell instantly almost. This is what is bad is going on the background. Please rectify this. We are finding it. Giving the solution is up to the, we given the solution, they'll take the call at any point of their, they know that downtime and all, we don't know, but we highlighted, we have given to them. Solution, you're done your job. Is it clear? Please tell me anyone. Say something.
Yes, Ravi. Yeah.
It should be pretty clear to all. This is very, very important. And I made it, your target is to database collection. Good enough. Then what is your target? Long running queries you wanted to use. Greater than how many milliseconds? What is the next target is actually a query. Basically, the queries are the bad culprits, 99%. You wanted to include the update also in it, go and add it. If update is also sometimes very bad, that also we can trace. You can just go with the more filters. See, we discussed about all the filters. It is not a new for us. I discussed this in the crude. Don't again confuse with this. Okay, I wanted update also. No update. Okay, either you go with the query or update. Why? Because so in a single query it is and operator, it's under, this should be there, this should be there, this should be there. So query and update both cannot be together. You query it, you inquire about query once, update also you do it separately, so that what the heck, huh? Okay, let's read this without this. What update? Maybe op update is something different. It's not filtering it out. Oh, got it. Update went before 2 milliseconds, maybe. I'll take out this. Update done within milliseconds. Oh, that's the reason. Good. Got the point. So whatever the operations, update operations have been done, that is happened in milliseconds. Okay, greater than 2, I kept it. I should have kept greater than 1 then in that case. Here I should have kept 1. At least I get the some output. So like this. So update also can be a culprit because update is also going to log the lot of records. If that is the case, other people definitely go into the waiting mode. If they are going into the waiting mode, performance will start coming. So you look at one time query, one time update, then that will conclude the issue. This update is going on since 2 milliseconds. So like that we'll trace. Is it enable continuous? What do you mean by that? I mean, it runs forever? No, you just, it is up to you how long you want it to run. So if I go and do this db dot set profiling level to 0, it will stop. It won't record anything anymore. It is done. You disable the trace. So now db dot set, this has already set, but I did not show. But quickly, if I go and see the profiling status, it will tell you. Oh, sorry, db dot get so profiling level, right? Sorry, status, profiling status. See, 0 means disabled. Whatever you do, it does not see. If you wanted to see, let me talk about this. I wanted to make it everything clear. I don't want to leave all of anything. I'll quickly show this. db dot. How many entries are there in this, in the trace total? For 34 entries are there. 34 statement is traced. Now I quickly enable the profiling. Set profiling to 2. Okay. I disabled, right? Let it be disabled itself. Show collections. I'll read some collections. Come on. db.stores.find. It should be traced if it is there, right? I'll read something else also. db.lab10. lab10.find. Okay, this is also got. Now if you go and see that db.system.profiling.find 34 we had, right? Again, you'll have 34 only because the profiling is disabled. Now I'll enable it. db dot set profiling level to 2. I'm going with 2. I'll explain 1 anyway. It is now 2. If you wanted to check the status, get profiling level. Okay. Oh, sorry. 2 anyway. Status also will tell us that thing. Right, this. Now, if I go and read the count of that, how many should be there? 34. If I read any collection, then it will become 35. If I read more and more, db.lab.find. Okay, one read intentionally. db.stores.find. Come on. Should be clear to everyone now. And now let's see the count. It should be how many? How many it should be now? Tell me. How many? How many entries should be there in it?
36.
36.
That's correct. Something 37th also executed. It seems. What is that? Last three. You wanted to read that? Just let's go and read. Why 37? Oh, it should be 36 only, right? So let's go and read. See last. If you see last, what it is SQLDB product. This is the one. I mean, just to load. Okay, it is not loaded fully. Type it for more. IT. Right. This is everything. Okay. Right. The three actually done. Count system. Okay, I read the system profile. The query that also treated as a executed. See, let me show this. I got the point. Why it was 37. If I go and read how many it is, 38, 39 twice. Every time you read, this is also is recording. Now it is read 40. Now you read 41. This is also a read operation because you're reading the collection. Following? Say something.
Yeah, got it.
Right. So this is what the profiling means. This is how you trace it. This is how you resolve it. So we spent a lot of time. Let's finish the slides now. So now, see guys, MongoDB Profiler is a database level profiling system that helps to identify the inefficient queries and operations. The following level, 0 means no profiling. Set profiling to 0 means it is disabled. Nothing will trace. And 1 means only slow operations. I did not talk about this. Let's talk about that quickly. Profiling find. For this, we need to run something. Okay. Okay, just a minute. I will finish it anyway, this profiling today. Come on. Okay. See, we don't use the two at all in the real time. Only one. Set profiling level. First, get profiling. Okay. Status. So, if it is 2, it is traces everything. If it is 1, it only traces the queries which are running more than 100 milliseconds. If it is 1 means only the queries which are running for more than. So now it is enabled. What I'll do, I'll disable it. It's okay, I'll spend the time, not an issue, but you need to understand it. I'm disabling the profiling and 0. Come on, 0, right? Show collections. Show collections. Now I'm going to drop the system.profile. I'm dropping it. I don't know. I don't need this example. It is dropped. Show collections. Disable and drop. Don't drop without disabling it. Now it is gone. Profiling is gone. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the profiling to 1. db dot set profiling. Now, as soon as I do this, I'll get it. But here you can define something called slow arms. What it was saying, spelling slow ms. Okay, we'll call it as slow arms basically. Slow ms. I can define 100 is very small. I wanted at least 1 minute, which means 1000. Oh, this is picked up. Excellent. Actually, I did not have the query, did not keep it here. Okay. So now db dot what I have to do, profiling level, sorry, excellent, this is excellent, it worked. Get profiling level, okay, status. If you do this, slow arms turned into 1000 and profiling level 1. This is going to trace. This is going to trace only queries which are running for more than 1 minute. That's it. If the query is running for 1 millisecond, 2 millisecond, it never trace. Go and see this thing, db dot. It never trace whatever you do on the system now. Why? Because the query will qualify when it runs 1000 milliseconds only. You do how many times? It is not giving it. Reading is also, it will trace, but it is not tracing because the query is not qualifying the slow arm time. If a query is running for 1000 milliseconds, then only it will trace. That is only we wanted. A small queries we don't trace. So always we'll go with 1 in the real time. 2 means everything. Small, big, anything it will record. 0 millisecond also it will record. So 2 is very dangerous because it logs a lot of information. We don't want lot. We wanted only slow queries we are targeting to trace into the profiling. Following?
So it's only slow queries or update insert also will be counted.
Anything that is running for over 1000 milliseconds will qualify to record.
Okay.
Else it won't record. This is what we do in the real time. But to make you understand, I went with 2. How the records will happen, how we will filter it out, how we target it particular thing. So I went with 2 because to make you understand, but in the real time, 2 we never use. You are not supposed to use it. It is unnecessary load on the system because it's tracing a lot of information. If you go with the slow arms with this particular number, if the query is exceeding that millisecond, then only it will eligible to enter into the profiling. This is a more filtration kind of. So absolutely you can target, okay, this whatever the queries is states, absolutely all are bad. Clear? Bad in the sense, you are not supposed to lock on the system for 1 minute. Generally it is, generally if you are trying to impose lock for more than 1 minute, it doesn't have index some reason. Indexing, we know how to we introduce index, we talked about that. If the update statement is running for more than minutes and minutes, we will tell them that why boss you're doing on the big chunk, do it on the particular chunk. We'll tell them. So you need to follow all the standards. That's where the MongoDB performance will come into play. And create the indexes, whatever the in the slow arms, whatever it is tracing, don't create the index for everything. Update, insert, we don't create the indexes, though it is executing for longer time. Only query and filter. You need to look at what columns, what fields they are filtering it out. That filter fields must have the index to get the fast execution. Is it clear to everyone? Yes or no? Say something. You don't get anything till it is qualified 1000 milliseconds. That is called slow arms. We'll call slow arms. Slow MS, but we will use that word. Slow arms kind of word. Slow arms. Okay, which is fine. So now let's finish. We are done with it almost. Only one thing is left that I can finish within time. Right. So we know the 0, we know 1, we know 2 now. Default value of slow operation is 100 milliseconds. To change that, to modify, you can give parameter. You don't need to. Basically, you can do on the fly. Set. Okay, I did not record the queries. Pick up from the video, guys. I did not record notes today. If you want, I can do it actually. But it is a big lengthy output. We cannot keep in the notes, right? It will become very big output. Yes or no, guys? You can pick up from the video, right? Everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks for understanding. Fine. So you don't need to do in the config file. You can do on the fly. Okay. So now if you see profiling, if you wanted to see the profiling status, what is actually configured, we did that many a times, right? db dot get profiling level or get profiling level. Okay, this is something is going to tell you what level you have it. Okay, and status, db dot status is will give you little more information. Get profiling status. This is something good. It is telling you what is enabled, what is the slow arms also. That's something good. Okay. And if you wanted to change it, set. See, you have only three things you have: set profiling level, get profiling status. Only three. You within these three commands, everything will be rotated. Enable the profiling by profiling the value that is set to database level. Only database, it's not server level. You can view the output of the profiler in the system.profile collection of your database by issuing the following command. See, whatever the queries are you're targeting 100 milliseconds. This means 100 milliseconds. You are not filtering on the namespace, but you have to do that. I discussed in our actual live. This is what I discussed was live. Absolutely, this is what I do when someone complains. I quickly resolve the issue because I know what is actually causing the issue. I traced it, I find it, I can give the ready-made solution quickly. It's like that anyway. So you can view the output of the profiler in this one, and greater than you can filter it. If filters, I discussed many levels like millis, namespace, the operation also. We've seen all that, right? This returns all the operation that lasted longer than millisecond. This output lasted longer than 100 milliseconds. Ensure that the value specified here 100 is example is above a slow operation threshold that you mentioned in the previous this thing. Anyway, you no need to do that. This something is you have to do in the config file. You don't need to do within on the fly database level. You can set it. I've shown that. Right, so we can go with the, like you wanted to limit the output, you wanted to sort by time, and you can, if you wanted to sort, see every transaction when it is triggered also it'll record. Anyway, we have the outputs here, right? The better outputs. Just let me. When we read this, a query, when it is triggered, the query time also it is mentioning here. What is the current time when it is triggered? If it is still going on, the millis will keep growing every time you read it. That is what you need to look at. In the previous output, in the current output, millis is changed, so it is ongoing transaction. Basically, that also will tell us. This is something very helpful to trace lot of things. Okay, this is really helpful for us. The millis is growing every time you read it, then it is ongoing transaction basically. Anyway, whatever it is, so that is what it is. You can sort it out based on the timestamp if you wanted to, basically. So if you just run as it is, I can get the output anyway. This looks good. The query looks good. Let me verify first. Okay, it doesn't give anything. Find limit. The heck? Huh? It should give some records. Okay, we don't have any data. Okay. We don't have any data in it because I changed it. I deleted. I changed it. Okay. Anyway, it will give. So what it is doing, it is reading the top 10 records, lastly inserted records. See, limit is only 10, and it is sorting in the descending or latest to old. -1 means latest to old. This one. This also we talked about system.profile. Okay. Let's do this quickly if you wanted to. I'll turn the profiling level to 2 again because we want data, right? 6 to 15 minutes, fine. We can finish this. db.set profiling, profiling level to 2 again. I'm changing it. Okay. When it is 2, no slow arms will apply. db.profiling get profiling status. It is 2 now. Slow arms will apply? No. So, all right. If you see this, you get the output. Come on. Let's go with just this thing. See, it started tracing. You keep reading, it will keep tracing it itself. It itself means it is also a query. Count, the same thing we have seen already, guys. If you are reading it, count is keep growing like this. Everything, 2 means everything. Everything means in and out of the system. That's what it is. And you wanted only command. If you see NE, okay, let's go with this. What is the tail say? It is filtering on NE. and what it is actually? Operation? Any command. Okay. Operation. So basically, as I said, these are all commands. When you're reading it, it's a command. Let's go on insert something again. I would have said this that time itself, but I forgot. That's why I want to do it again. Something I'm inserting, guys. Just something. If you go and see this trace, you'll find this as what? Filter. Okay, I read that one. If you see this insert statement, where is the insert? Is gone. Does it loaded everything? Yeah, it is loaded. Insert one trace or what? Should. Right, here it is. Not there. The heck, huh? Really? Where I did that? Just a minute, guys. Where I'm reading? Just a minute. This is what it is, right? It is loaded everything up to the end. This is saying okay. This is fine. This should be insert. Latest is insert, right? It's a query. Filtering it out on S. Oh, insert is also, it is like a filtering onto. Good enough. Okay. It is tracing the insert also. Insert as a query. See, inserted S number 2 and the previous case is S number 1. Okay, good enough. Good enough. So if it is executed for this long. So now if I update command, we have commands. Okay, let's go to this filter. Let's filter ns. Come on. I'll just talk about this quickly. ns command. How many commands we have? No commands? Command or commands? You need to know. Oh, op command, right? Sorry, it's op command. Right. So we have commands like this. These are the commands we ran so far. Okay, commands. So it is including the commands, but I don't want the commands, but the rest I wanted. Commands we don't read. So you have something like this. Equal to, you wanted to go with the not equal to. That you can do with this. Come on. Okay, let's write from the beginning. Why to say this? This is the last anyway. We are done, almost close. I'll close in next 10 minutes. So here, OP not equal to, I just wanted to go with the not equal to command, and E command. So what it is going to show, all the output wherever the command is there, it should be excluded. Not equal to command means it is giving the output where you don't have a command. What it is giving, op not equal to command. Pretty. Do you have the command in the output? Query, query, query. Of course, all should be queries only, no command. Okay, let me conclude. This is the last. So how many we have with the not command count? Let's see. Total 15. With the command, how many we have? I'll take out this. Just command. 4. Total, how many we have? 19 we should have then. Without any filter, 19 should be there. 20. This also loaded. Okay, this is correct. So total commands are 4. Reads are without command in the output is 15. So these are the queries. 15 are queries. These are the commands. 4. Okay. It is like that. So you can filter it with the command, all that. If command not equal to you, if you want it exclude as a filter. To return the operations for a particular collection, run this one. NS, we discussed this in detail anyway. All right, this is the last discussion for us. Last, profiling. 8 minutes are enough for this. See, by default, 1 MB is more than enough to trace for 1 minute or 2 minutes, but you want to trace more evidence, more data you wanted for the business. So maybe the slow arms more than 1 minute, lot of queries are running for more than 1 minute, and 1 MB is exceeded. So what I mean to say, show collections. We don't do this anyway. I don't do it personally, but if you wanted, if you run into very bad environment, you need this particular thing. db dot system dot and stats. If you giving this, it is by default capped collection. Which one? This one, the system, because it's tracing the load. If it is not capped, it is going to occupy all your disk at certain time. You just enabled, you forgot. Assume a case, you enable the profile, you forgot to disable it. It is keep on tracing, and then it can fill the disk down the line. So that is why it is by default capped. You must, it is capped, and you don't need to worry about it. So it is capped. The system.profiles, this is a capped. Why? Because it is tracing the load. Even you forget, data will be limited to 1 MB. This is a kb's value. If you take it 1048 KB equivalent, roughly 1 MB. No, I don't want that. I wanted more big file. How do I do that? Generally we don't do it, but anyway, if you need it, it might help you some time. That is the reason I'm discussing this. Just a minute. Now db dot what is this profiling status? Get profiling, come on, profiling status 2. I don't want that. I wanted to disable this. First disable, you have to disable. Set profiling level to 0. Disabled. You can see that status. It is disabled. Not anymore. Show collection. Disable, then only delete this collection. Don't delete it without disabling it. db.system.drop. I'm dropping it. So because it is disabled, we don't need this anymore. Show collections, we don't have that anymore. Right. I wanted to create my own, I mean, size with the size. You can create manually that. db dot create collection. Okay. I wanted to create the collection as this. Exactly. It should not be even a small letter mistake. If you do it, it won't pick up that. Now, we discussed this capped collection, if you guys remember. Capped true and size. This you need to mention. What is the size I wanted? By default, it is 1 MB. 1 MB means 1024 and 3 digits. This is a value by default. 1024, 3 digits, right? I wanted to make 10 MB. 10 MB means one more number you have to make it. This is equivalent to 10 MB. See guys, these three things you take it out. This is the value 10,044 KBs. 10,000 means 10 MB. So this capped collection is equivalent to 10 MB now. I'm creating it manually. It is created. Now I'll enable the profiling. You're creating manually and enabling the profiling. So it won't create. If it is a collection is there with the system.profile, it won't create. That's the advantage we had to take it here. Set profiling to 2 again. Okay. Show collections. This is a collection. If you see system.stats, it will be 10 MB, not 1 MB, because we created manually with that condition. See this? You take this value 10,244. This collection equivalent to 10 MB. It is going to load, pick up 10 MB worth of log. So come on. Stats. Oh, not stats. Find count. It will keep tracing the load into that only now. Why? Because we created manually and it is 2. It will keep taking the data into that one till it becomes 10 MB. I don't do it personally, but some reason if you wanted to load more and more data, then go for it. How do you change it? Basically, to change the size, first disable the profiling. How do you disable it? Set profiling level to 0 is disabling it. Okay. Then drop the collection. Then create the collection with the capped and enable the profiling. That's it. That is a process. If you wanted to go with the more, like more data you wanted to accommodate into the profiler system.profile collection, 1 MB is more than enough. That is what I never used it, but anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So this will basically collect the profiling information and save it to your system.profile tab to collection.
Whatever you do, yeah, whatever the queries are running more than 1 minute, it is going to trace into this one by default. As long
Okay,
as
so you will store it in the collection called system.profile.
right.
Okay, okay.
So this is something what it does. If it becomes 1 MB, automatically the tracing will be left automatic. It will be flushed. But I wanted to keep more data for some reason. Generally we don't enable, but if you at all you have to do it, this is a process. Okay. Is it clear? Only 4 commands: disable, drop, create, and enable. That's it. We are done with the performance tuning. This is what performance, nothing else. We have other things, memory and all that. In terms of query, I'm talking about. In terms of indexes, I'm talking about. In terms of tracing the load, I'm talking about. That is over now. Any questions? If not, I'll stop.